It takes place in muddy fields, it's run almost entirely by amateurs, and yet it offers the opportunity to see real superstars. Another war of attrition, another best mate, who knows? Perhaps even another Denman. That's what brings thousands to the point-to-point fields of Ireland. I've come to Dungarvan point-to-point meeting in southeastern Ireland to dig a little deeper into the appeal of the Irish point-to-point scene. Why you come point-to-point racing?
Win money. It's really fun. Win money.
Win money?
It's fun. Win money. Like the horses.
Like the horses. A mixture of horses, fun and money. Final question, Matt Chapman, Sean Boyce.
Sean Boyce. Sean Boyce. Matt Chapman's a fool.
Dating back to the practice of racing horses from one parish, or church or steeple, to another, hence the name, point-to-point, and also the term steeplechasing. Point-to-point racing provides a great day out, but in Ireland in particular, it offers the chance to see stars of the future. Gold Cup winners Best Mate, War of Attrition and Denman all began their careers in fields just like these. This very meeting at Dungarvan has witnessed runs by Pandorama, Jesse's Dream and the mighty B4 Salmon in recent years.
The Lexus Chase is on the menu for Michael Harrigan's chart. All Calvary has to look round. Today is B4 Salmon's day.
Walter Connors has prepared horses that have ended up excelling under rules with Willie Mullins, Paul Nicholls and Nicky Henderson. I asked him about his approach.
I normally buy them as foals and we keep them for 3 or 4 years, and then once we've gotten this far, then it's time for them to get off our conveyor belt.
And where do they end up, your horses? What sort of person is in the market for a good one that you produce?
Well, the likes of Keita de la Rock and Apt Approach, and those started point-to-pointing with us, and they were during the time of the Celtic Tiger, so they stayed in Ireland. And in the last couple of years, we had our St. Rock last year that went to Paul Nicholls, and Hadrian's Approach that went to Nicky Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some very, very good horses there, and some big operations obviously getting involved with them. When you have a horse as a very young horse, you're buying them as foals. How soon do you know you've got something to work with?
When they pass the lollipop. Actually, we have hunches and our own personal favourites, but in terms of we have to see it on the race course before we can be sure.
Promising young horses with big futures ahead of them were the order of the day in the first race, Division 1 of the 5-year-old maiden.
Angels Hill for the John Berry team, beginning to come up the home straight in front here, goes on by 2 lengths, working hard in second is My Silver Cloud, and as they go to the finish, My Silver Cloud is getting there with every stripe, but Angel Hill fights back. Angels Hill, My Silver Cloud is a tight finish.
Another trainer with plenty of experience of bringing good horses through these ranks is Liam Burke. I asked him which of his current crop of point-to-pointers we should follow.
One called Why Surrender, and I have a horse belonging to Paul Barber called Ruapaho, who won in Dromahane, who's a decent sort of horse, will make a good chaser. I ran one today called Harbour Pirate, who would have a good future as a staying chaser. And I have a couple of others that haven't come out yet.
I heard the commentator here at the track saying earlier B4 Salmon, Pandorama, horses like that run at this meeting in maidens here. So anyone coming to an Irish point-to-point, they've got a good chance of seeing a future star, do you think?
You do, of course, not every day, but there's always one or two that will stand out. Not one week will be the next week that you could say will go on. The Dig Out now won here last year as well, and Pandorama won his race. You will come across them in the season, you might have 20-25 real good horses, but they are there. You look at Michael O'Leary, he starts off all his horses point-to-pointing, and he has fought out good money for them, and they're good pedigrees, but it's a great grounding for them, plus it gives them time to mature.
The O'Leary horse in the second race is War Correspondent, a half-brother to former Gold Cup winner War of Attrition.
War Correspondent now begins to get into the contest, but there's still 6 lengths to make up in 6th position, but a good jump helps his cause there as Go Philosophical makes the swing to the final fence, taken on the outside all the time now by Patsy's Castle. War Correspondent is ready in the position to challenge now, having looked in trouble for a long way. In behind these then Scuderia, but as they come to the final fence, and War Correspondent gets up there and falls at the last when about to hit the front and leaves the lead to Patsy's Castle. Patsy's Castle off the turn from Scuderia in second place. These two will fight out the second division after the demise of War Correspondence, and here comes John Thomas and Scuderia, but Patsy's Castle is battling back tenaciously in a driving finish. It's going to be on the ball, very tight, Patsy's Castle and Scuderia.
Miles Morris is with us here at Dungarvan point-to-point. First question, what brings you here?
Well, I was running a young horse there, was favourite there in the second division, so I had to come down and see him. Not very successful, but promising.
That's War of Attrition's half-brother. He was, in fairness, just getting into it. He made a huge move, didn't he, Derek? And it looked like he was just coming into it.
Yeah, things just didn't go right in the race from him. He looked as if he probably would have won it, you know. So I don't mind. He come on a ton for it. So.
Is that what the jockey said when he got off? I was definitely getting there.
He said he would have won all right, yeah. But War of Attrition fell too the last, so maybe it's good home.
Well, yeah, maybe it is. And in terms of the Gigginstown team, this is very much where they like to start their horses. What's the story of that? Why start horses in these point to points?
Well, I suppose the racecourse now, and even the point to points now have got so competitive that if you want to give a young horse, just an easier time, that this is the place to do, and they learn something, Between the flags now, it's just so competitive. You burn up a horse very, very quick, and they're having fair play to them. They're having great success with it.
You see another War of Attrition potentially, or too early to say?
I think I'll be dead before I find another War of Attrition, but he'll be a nice horse.
With only a couple of races down, there's a real sense that we may have seen some good horses in action. But there's a lot more to a day's point-to-pointing than that, as Richard Pugh of P2P.ie was to explain.
Point-to-pointing is so community-based, it's so volunteer-based. Racing is fantastic, and National Hunt Racing and Cheltenham and Punchestown and all the rest of it, but you are people say it, but I don't know if you really appreciate it. You are at grassroots here. This is where it started. It started in 1752 with 2 points, 2 steeples in Doneraile and Buttevant Church, and this is an extension of that, and National Hunt Racing is an extension of that, and this to me is the core true racing. You've seen half brothers of Gold Cup winners here and very nearly champion hurdle winners here today, and none of them won. So you're seeing the best quality of horse. You're seeing a significantly higher quality of horse than you used to see, and rider, and they're doing it in a field. And if you came back here on Wednesday, it would just be a field. It would bear no resemblance to a racecourse.
But point-to-point racing from one church to another was an entirely amateur event, wasn't it? It was between a few individuals. But we're talking about horses here which are worth fortunes. We're talking about jockeys who are very high quality.
Almost. You've missed, to me, the beauty of it. The beauty of it is, you're right, there are some high-class horses who cost a lot of money at store sales, and there are people riding by us right now who are amateurs, who work Monday to Friday, maybe behind a desk in an office job, doing what they do. They might only have one horse, it's their own horse. It's the same as having a show jumper or an eventer. They come here and they compete with the people you're talking about, but it's that mixture, that's the magic. It's the mixture of the two, and without one side or the other, you don't have the sport. So it's great that we have the horses progressing onwards and the good winners, but it's the mixture, that's the key.
So to anyone who hasn't been point-to-pointing in Ireland or in the UK, what would you say?
Point-to-pointing will allow you to see the action close up. I mean, we're as close to the action as you can ever get. You're encouraged to go down to a fence and see the power of horses going over a fence. You can go down and watch the horses being saddled up. You can watch them make their way up. 9 of the last 14 Cheltenham Gold Cup winners have come from these fields. So there is a very real possibility that you're going to see a superstar. You can go down to the box and almost feel his blow, and see him sweat and see what goes on behind the scenes. You can get much closer to the action. It's on the ground, it's true, and it's a great fresh air day out, and if you just look at the crowd on the hill there, it's doing something right.
Very good advocate for it.
I enjoy it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. It's absolutely, from my point of view, we take the results and we send them on to the media, etc. To me, it's a privilege to be able to be involved with a sport like this, to be able to say that you are the person that takes the results, and we have a reporter here today who compiles them, and that's what the websites and the newspapers will have from tomorrow onwards. But it is a privilege to be involved in it in any way. Absolutely.
Richard was right. The sense of community and the warm welcome I was encountering was evidence of his point. But as well as being founded on community, this particular community excels at providing a foundation for good horses. Trevor Horgan.
I think maybe the top trainers in England, the top National Hunt trainers in England, they sort of went to France for this horse that gets there quicker maybe. But okay, they fire as 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, they're very sharp, but I don't know if they train on as well as the Irish point-to-pointer, the real Irish horse. French horses certainly, I think they are that bit sharper as 4-year-olds maybe, but for the long-term job, I think those top trainers are coming back to Ireland for them again, or waiting for sales in Cheltenham and Doncaster when they've the point-to-point won,
It was not just equine stars on show at Dungarvan, though. The most prolific rider of his generation was here, although, remarkably by his standards, Derek O'Connor hadn't had a winner. Derek, no winners today. What's the problem? What's gone wrong?
We were just very unlucky. I had a couple of lovely rides earlier on. After taking 2 falls, to be honest, but War Correspondent, he is a very nice horse. He's half brother to War of Attrition, the one they called Cup a couple of years ago. So he was unlucky. He jumped the last in front and toppled over. But it's part and parcel of point racing. It's the thrills and spills of it, really. You cover 3 miles, you jump 15 fences, and it's the ups and downs. I'm fortunate today. I have good days, so I have to take these days as well.
I'm teasing you. I'm pulling your leg because you have so many good days. What's your tally?
My overall tally is 782, so that I'm not too bad. I'm not doing too bad. But it's days like this. This is what point racing is about, like the ups and the downs, and looking for the next War of Attrition and the War Correspondent or the other winners that was through today. This is what it's about. This is why we come point racing. Great crowd here today on a well turned out course, competitive racing. So where else would you want to be? Like it's very exciting to be here.
That's a good question for you. Where else would you rather be? You've ridden nearly 800 winners between the flags. You are clearly a brilliant horseman. Why are you riding point to point? You could ride anywhere in the world. You could do anything you want.
Yeah, I've really loved for point racing. It's the people that you're dealing with. It's the different tracks, the different atmospheres, all the different committees. They're all lovely people, down to earth people. And then for me, I'm very lucky in the position that I'm in. That I'm riding very nice horses. So I get a chance to ride the next War of Attrition, the next Dinman, the next Gold Cup horse. This is what's exciting for me. Like, hopefully I'll ride horses here today, or I have ridden horses here today that'll turn out to be good, or I'll ride them next week, and I can say I played a little part in that horse's career, and look at him now, and that's what really drives me on. I just love dealing with young horses and watching them mature, and then if other people ride them, it's not the end of the world, but I've played my part in the whole role.
O'Connor was yet another example then of someone of great expertise and ability expressing real affection for the community of the point-to-point scene. The next race on the card proved his point, when locally owned, bred and trained mare Bannon Glorna beat the Boyce to produce the biggest celebrations of the day.
Bannon Glorna is battling back and coming back to take the lead. Bannon Glorna and Pat Collins continues the jockey's winning streak in the point-to-points. Bannon Glorna was headed at the last, has fought back to win by 3.
Great scenes here in the winners' enclosure. What does that mean to you?
Because we bred her and we kept her till now, and we had her mother and we had her half-sister, so that's what it meant to us.
Huge cheer from the local crowd here as well, so obviously a big local success too.
Yeah, it's great. So.
Who trains her?
Pat Crowley at the moment.
Sure, she's a local mare, and Michael and Nell are members of the committee with 40 years, and you know, it's great to win the local race always, so loads of banter before it, so it was nice to come out on top.
And was that expected? Was everyone on?
Yeah, we liked her, you know. Taking on the boys, it's always, you know, you'd be worried that you wouldn't know what you'd meet, but I thought she'd have no better win the Mayor's Maiden. It's just nice to go one better and beat the boys, like, so, you know.
What next for a mare like her?
We'll wait and see now. She's a half sister to a bumper winner that John Kiley had, and she's not too bad now. She's probably better over a trip. She gallops well and she jumps well, so we'll see whether a winner's race or we'll maybe look at something on the track. We'll talk and see how he goes. So today's the day. Sure.
Today's the day. And in terms of what it meant to the owners and the connections and to the crowd, this is what the point-to-point scene is about.
It is. It's great, you know, because everyone gets a kick out of it, and it was a good day today and a great old crowd turned out, and everyone knows everyone, and it's nice to have a winner at your local track. Yeah.
Came here to this point-to-point today hoping to see some future superstars. That's really what I was excited about personally. And do you know what we might have done? We might have seen 1 or 2 really good horses of the future, but actually that's not the abiding memory probably that I'll have of it. I've had a great day. It's been an extremely exciting day. We've had a fabulous welcome from all sorts of people, but most important of all, we've seen real racing, and we've seen real enthusiasts enthusiastically enjoying that racing. So if somebody says to you, go to a point-to-point, you might see a future superstar, they'd be right. But more than that, you'll have a great day's racing.